Alright, so it's been about 7 months since Google released their latest A-series offering, the Pixel 6a. As a big fan of the A-series myself, it's been great seeing these things get better year after year. Now, in the tech community, one of the most common things to do is harp on what these devices don't have, and then use that to determine the viability of those devices. In my eyes, once you use the device for a significant amount of time, once you understand the context of it and what market it's meant for, then you'll get a much better understanding of why that device was built the way it was. Last summer, the 6a was released at $449, right in the middle of the usual budget mid-range category of the market, and with that came some stiff competition from the likes of Apple's iPhone SE 2022, Samsung's Galaxy A53, and Motorola's G Stylus, to name a few. However, since then, Google, along with a number of other major retailers and wireless carriers, have been offering this phone at just $299. Best Buy has even had it down to $250 with immediate activation with a major US carrier, which at this point confirms this to be an absolute no-brainer for what you're getting. The value proposition of this phone is arguably unbeatable. In a world of gigantic Pro Maxes, Pluses, and Ultras, the 6a has what I still find to be a refreshing build with a very comfortable and pocketable 6.1-inch screen. It's a good sweet spot for sure. And despite having an entirely plastic back, the build feels great and the aluminum rails help out with that a lot. It doesn't feel cheap or like any A-series phone that came before it. This is still one of my favorite phones to hang on to and use, especially with a rock-solid haptic feedback. Now, if 60Hz displays bother you that much, then this phone isn't meant for you. Simple. This was a big point of contention last summer, as I'm sure most of you remember. Now, this isn't the highest quality display, that's for sure. It's not the brightest either, but all things considered, it's actually not bad, and it really does get the job done. It's been fine. Having said that, personally, I actually like this panel for what it is, and most users will not have a problem with it. If anything, the in-display fingerprint scanner is the bigger issue. Now, this does get the job done too, but if you have any experience with previous Pixel A phones, this is a far cry from those rear-mounted scanners, and as we progress through 2023, you're going to see more and more scanners that are going to leave this one in the dust. But as you can see in this clip, it is usable. You just have to be ready for it to disagree with you every once in a while. As much as I, along with a ton of other users, have gotten past the need for a headphone jack, I completely understand that there is a crowd that still wants, needs, and uses one regularly, especially those that are in the market for a phone just like this one. For a while, the A-series was known for hanging on to that beloved port, but it's gone now, and I'm sorry. Fortunately, the dual speakers are solid. They're not the greatest, especially at the upper registers where the sound will get a little scratchy, but overall, they're just fine, and there's a surprisingly good amount of low end, which is something the bass heads will appreciate. Having said that, at this point, most of us are probably listening to media with Bluetooth speakers or wireless headphones anyway. Speaking of wireless, the lack of wireless charging may be a deal breaker for some, and to add insult to that injury, the 18-watt wire charging is pretty slow. This is obviously a corner that Google decided to cut, so it is understandable. Let's hope that this is their last phone without wireless charging, but honestly, it's not the end of the world, and if you're the target audience for this phone, you'll be fine with this, especially considering battery life here is pretty decent, so depending on your usage, you'll mostly end up charging the phone when you don't need it as much anyway. For me, I've been able to comfortably get anywhere between 5 to 6 hours of screen on time on a single charge, and with Android 13's updates over time, battery life has been pretty reliable in my use, and things ended up working out. However, I'll keep it real. I will say that I hope that the 7a comes with faster wired charging. Unfortunately, just like most phones nowadays, the Pixel 6a does not come with a charger in the box, so you'll need to resort to an old charger that may not even support the Pixel's fast charging speed. So I recommend you pick up some Nexode chargers from Ugreen. Their Nexode 140-watt multi-charger is my favorite choice because it can pump up charging levels to 140 watts. It's pretty insane. So not only will you be able to charge the Pixel 6a at its fastest, but you can even charge bigger devices at their top speed, like the 16-inch MacBook Pro, 0 to 56% in just 30 minutes. It also has 2 USB-C ports and 1 USB-A port to let you charge multiple devices simultaneously, like 2 laptops and a phone. And unlike most chargers, it can intelligently adjust its power outputs to protect your device's battery health. It's pretty smart. If you would prefer something smaller and just as reliable compatible, Ugreen's Nexode 45 watt is also a great choice. It can still output 45 watts, so most smartphones, including the Pixels, Samsung, and iPhones, can get fully juiced at their fastest rate. And you can still charge two devices at the same time since it comes with two USB-C ports. So if you want the best bang for your buck, pick up these two Ugreen chargers linked right below that like button. What is the Google Pixel, if not for its cameras? Now, these cameras are great, it's that easy, and they're going to continue being great for a long time. There were even some claims from others in the industry that this Pixel's cameras specifically were best in class for 2022. Yeah, this little $449 David beat out the Goliaths that were 2 to 3 times more expensive in photo comparison polls. Now, these are lenses that we got in the Pixel 2 through Pixel 5a. Yeah, they're old, it's another corner cut, but it worked. It also speaks to the fact that Google's had some time to absolutely master the optimization of this hardware. Just as you would expect from a Google Pixel, the results from its cameras are capable of punching way above its weight class. And even the video recording has seen really good improvements from past Pixels, now being able to record at 4K 60. The front-facing camera is a little less impressive, but as someone that doesn't take a lot of selfies, it's also a little less significant of a matter for me. And when it comes to speed and performance, the 6A isn't going to crush any benchmarks. It's not going to outperform any high-end processors, but that's not the point of this phone. It wasn't built for power users, and if you're watching this video and you're in the market for a phone like this, I'm guessing you're not that type of user. So take it from someone who knows what it is to be a power user. This phone performs great for normal everyday use. Anything short of the top end of intense hardcore gaming, this phone will give you what you need. Sure, I've experienced dropped frames and the occasional visual glitch, and the phone does get warm during moderate to heavy use, but nothing that got in the way or hindered overall performance and usability, and I've been satisfied with it over time. So obviously, this thing isn't perfect, but with the boxes that it does check, it's going to be the perfect phone for a lot of people. When it comes to my personal recommendation, at $450, I'd grab the Pixel 7 on sale for $499, or wait for the Pixel 7a coming in just a few months. But if you can grab this for $250 or $300 and you're just looking for a simple, clean, no frills option with a solid, comfortable build, good battery life, and great cameras, I say go for it. The 6A is slated to get up to Android 16. It's going to continue getting monthly security patches for the next few years, along with quarterly feature drops. There's a lot to like here, and not a lot that you can reasonably get mad at. The A series continues to be a great, can't go wrong option, something that adds a solid amount of quality of life features a lot of phones still don't have at a price you can't really argue with. Here's to hoping the 7A can not only continue this trend, but take it to the next level.
Also guys, it's Fakuna here. I just wanted to jump in real quick and say that we're going to be tagging the Pixel 6a within the YouTube product tag feature sponsored by YouTube themselves. So if you're interested, check it out. Anyways, back to Zach.
If you made it to this point of the video, drop a green frog emoji for no reason whatsoever. Also, let me know what you think of the 6A, the A series in general, and let's talk about all of that in the comments. Hope you enjoyed. It's been Zach, and thanks for watching.